Hey guys, so I'm here with Laura
Egocheaga.
And we just talked about business and personal development. So if you wanna,
And a lot of other dope that you gotta check out, and if you don't check it out, you're gonna miss out on so much and your business is gonna fail, and so you so you have to watch it.
so click the link to watch the whole interview.
That's not clickbait, it's legit. You gotta do it right now. I said what's good, Tampa? Deep into yourself and changing yourself so that you can project the change onto the world.
I'm here with Laura Egocheaga.
Egocheaga.
My name is Jonathan and I am a marketer, and we started this project called Secret Sauce to meet with people. To meet with people like her to understand their secret sauce behind their success and their stories. So Laura, introduce yourself.
First of all, pleasure to this man. This man is amazing.
Thank you.
I'm Laura Egocheaga. I help visionary entrepreneurs to C-suite level executives ethically scale and automate their businesses through revolutionary digital strategy. And I own a company called Vibe Tech. And yeah, I'm like pretty badass. I'm really good at what I do. And I hope that mic's working.
It is actually working now.
Okay. Oh,
but
now
this
it's
one,
working.
yeah, but this one was working.
Okay, lit. So we got that.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. And I started. I went full time into Vibe Tech about in March 2017, and we scaled from 0 to 6 figures in 7 months. So, and it was on the back of ClickFunnels and cold traffic. So that was like super awesome. It like changed my life like that. I've been mentored by Grant Cardone, Gary Vaynerchuk, Russell Brunson, like a whole bunch of freaking legendary ass people. I've done talks with Gary Vaynerchuk. And yeah, I'm like a Google mentor, whatever that's like cool now, I don't know. But like when it comes to Google events in the Tampa Bay area, I'm one of like the mentors that go out. And yeah, I don't really like to talk about myself because then I sound like even like bigger of an ego that I already have.
This is all about you, this episode. So
awesome.
So tell me, how old are you?
I'm 24 now. 24. I was about to say 23, but I just turned 24 last month.
Oh yeah, well, happy birthday last month. So tell me about your beginnings. You know, you're in high school. I heard that you were broke, and then you started working, and then you decided to quit. You had a car sales job, and then how do you started in digital marketing and advertising? And
so I actually started in digital marketing when I was like 16, 17 in high school. So my whole thing was like, I was about to be 16. My parents were broke as fuck. My mom left me and my dad when I was 7 years old, and I was just like single parent household. I was allowed to get whatever I wanted, like whenever I wanted, until 2008 when the economy like crashed. Then we didn't have money. My dad would tell me like, oh, I can't afford to buy you the new Xbox. I can't afford this. I can't afford this. I can't afford that. And I just like didn't mentally comprehend why we didn't have money. So like as a kid I was like, okay, I'm not gonna ask my dad for anything, because like if I don't ask him for anything for these many years, he'll be able to buy me my car when I'm 16. That was like my thought process. Super wrong. But yeah, so then like 16 comes, my friends are driving brand new BMWs, brand new Mercedes. Like we didn't have a lot of money, but my dad had enough like credit, I would say, to keep us in like a good neighborhood. I didn't go to private school or anything like that. It was all public school, but like a better public school than like the really bad ones. So like I was around like semi-rich people, I guess. So yeah, my friends were getting like brand new cars, and I could afford shit. Like it came to the point, and my dad and my mom were both like, no, like we can't afford that. So I went on Google and I started looking up how to make money online, and I found this company, and I signed up with the company, and it was an affiliate marketing company. So within the first 6 months I made my first 20 grand, and I used that to buy my new car, and which was like dope as fuck, but also put me in like a really messed up mindset, I would say, because like I felt like I didn't need anybody. Like, I moved out of my dad's house when I was 17. And I was like, I got this shit. I don't need you. It was a lot like prove yourself confrontation type thing, which now I realize is not positive. But that's actually like what's driven me to my success today, is like, I'm the shit and I'm gonna prove it to you. Fuck you haters. Like, seriously. And now I'm learning, like, that's not how you approach a situation, and that shouldn't be your motive. But that was my motive at that point in time, and that's what worked for me then. So yeah, I made my first 20 grand when I was fucking 17. And then I got addicted to drugs. I started selling drugs. Like, it was not cool, but it was an environment that I had to live through to learn lessons, I guess. I got robbed at gunpoint by my best friend, and that was like super crazy. That was like a huge turn in my life, because at the same time my great grandma died, and it was super crazy because like I had this dream, and she was in my dream, and this is after I like literally like the day after I was robbed, and she like, we're like sitting in her living room, or not her living room, her kitchen, and we're not saying anything, we're not talking. It was all like telepathically happening. Yep. And she was holding, I had a duffel bag full of fucking weed, Xanax, and Molly, and that's when I got robbed. And she was just holding my duffel bag, and then like at the table is my laptop, and I feel her telling me like, go that way, fuck this, don't try to get revenge, because honestly at that point I was like, I'm gonna get you, son, like I'm coming for you, you know, like. And I've never actually had a thought process of actually wanting to hurt someone so bad until that point in my life, and I knew I never wanted to have that thought ever happen in my brain again, because that's like, when you're genuinely thinking about really hurting someone, like, that's not cool.
Totally.
So I knew I needed to get myself out of the depression I was in, and like the situations and the friendships that I had made in that community, I would say. And yeah, I stopped selling drugs. I like promised, I like swore, like I haven't sold drugs since, and I never will again, because like it was like this thing I had with my great grandma. Like after she died, I feel like she was like, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain that, but like, yeah. And like during those times, like I should have been arrested, and like I probably shouldn't even be here right now. Like there's so many times I should have died. Like I really should have died. Like why did he not pull the trigger? Like literally at gunpoint, I got pistol whipped instead of shot. It's crazy, dude. Like I'll never forget it. It was like a complete setup by my friends. Like it wasn't just my best friend, it was like other friends that like helped set it all up. And that's sad. Like that's so sad. But whatever. You have to live through shit, right? But yeah. I forgot where I was at. I just got lost in that. I just want to shake that off.
No, that's so awesome, because I mean the first question was, how did you start it? You know, I mentioned you were working in the car dealership and everything.
Oh yeah, that's
and then you told me about how you made your first 20 grand. But I like the way you turning things to yourself, you know, and how your experiences, it's leading you to this point in your life of either success, and how you're overcoming certain situations where a lot of people might not know how to deal with those situations in terms of how to overcome it, you know, and maybe there's a lot of people that might stay mentally attached to a problem and just never coming out of that, which I think, you know, having we've been only talking about like 5 minutes, and you bump after bump, and you're just, it looks like you are taking the right path to overcoming that, and maybe like using that as fuel and to achieve your success. So I think that's awesome, and honestly, it is so funny in this community. There's people that they just open themselves, and it's about their story, you know, and your story it's very relatable, you know, with people and probably whoever's hearing back here. So that, I mean, that's great.
Yeah, so like I went into car sales. So after I stopped selling drugs, I started like getting more into code and not actually like digital marketing. I was like, I'm gonna create an app. I was like, I'm gonna be Mark Zuckerberg or some shit like that. Like I genuinely had this in my head. I thought I could like learn it all, and like I tried. Like I'm a front end developer with like a little bit of back end in Python. But I'm not like into PHP. It's just like a lot for me. I'd rather do like the cosmetics of it. But at the same time, I just kept reverting back to marketing. Like marketing was my calling. Like I know how to story sell. I know how to get into people's brain and get them to go through a certain sequence to purchase something. Like I understand that. So it always kept going back to marketing, even though I didn't want it to go to that. Like I genuinely wanted to be like this dope developer, and it didn't really happen. So I had to like play to my strengths. So I ended up going to work for Nielsen. I don't know if you know Nielsen. Yeah. So I worked with them for 3 years. At the same time, I'm like trying to go to school, but like not really enjoying school. I switched my major from business to computer science. And realized like I wasn't learning what I needed to learn to like make websites and like build apps. Like that was not what they were teaching in the computer science degree. They were like actually teaching like fucking like math, like in-depth pure math. Yeah, and which is dope because I met this Instagrammer, she's a programmer. She got her computer science major, and she's like, you do not need a computer science major to be able to be in the tech industry and be able to have like a tech job. Anyways, side note. But yeah, so I worked with Nielsen for like 3 years, and while I'm sitting at my desk hating my life, I see a Gary Vaynerchuk video. And I don't know if you've seen this video before, but it's like one of his like top videos, which is like, he's like, you won the lottery. There's a 1,000,000,000,000 chance that you're alive today in this point in time, and like you can do anything and blah blah blah. And like literally the next day, I was I had like a family thing with my cousin at Topgolf. And my cousin was at that point in time the new car director for Weston Chapel Nissan. So him and his boy were there, and they're talking about how they have to hire new salespeople and blah blah blah. And like I felt like the universe just made that shit happen. Like, because like in that moment I was just like, yo, I want to do sales. Like, can I work for you? And he's like so hesitant. He's like, no, you won't make it. Like, no, you can't do it. And I'm just like, I need to work for you, bro. So I just like hammered him until he gave me the opportunity to work for him. And it worked out. Like, he gave me the job. I quit my salary job literally the next day. No 2-week notice, no nothing. I was just like, I'm out, and just went straight to commission. And that's where I learned from Grant Cardone, because the dealership was like trained by the Cardone Auto Group. So they teach you overcoming objections, they teach you needs analysis, like analyze your person and what they actually need, what are their desires, and what are their pain points. And then like I went through the entire process with that in cars. I was with them for 6 months until like I got in a fight with the general sales manager because like they promoted me to internet sales. And I was just like up there bored as fuck sitting there, and I'm like, okay, well, let's go on SpyFu and check out like what their SEO is, like what's their traffic and stuff like that. And it sucked, and I like confronted them. I'm like, hey, we can do this and that to fix it. And the actual like internet director didn't know shit. Like, she didn't know anything. And I called them all out, and they were like upset that I called them out. And so I just quit on the spot. Like my first mentor ever was my sales manager when I was there. And he was like, go, like you can do so much better than this. And like we still chill and hang out. He lives at Sky House, like right in Channelside, and like we chill all the time. And like he's like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad you made that move to get the fuck out of there, and like you're doing what you're doing. But yeah, dude. And then that's when like March happened, went 0 to 6 figures, and like yeah.
March was
March
ClickFunnels.
2017, yeah.
Oh, last year.
Yeah, last year. ClickFunnels was this year.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
correct.
Funnel Hacking Live. Yeah.
And how did you? So what was the? So it was affiliate marketing, right?
Was for my first 20K ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when you quit your job, what do you do?
When I quit which job? I've quit a lot of jobs. The Nielsen job?
The last one, the car jobs.
Oh, that's when I went into Vibe Tech full time.
Okay. And then what's your service? Tell me a little bit about that and how you started that.
So we do like lead generation. We focused on med spas.
Okay.
That's it. And we did Facebook ads for them. That's it. Like the reason why I wasn't successful at first was because I didn't niche down, and I didn't niche down on a product or a service. My bad. I didn't niche down on a service, and I didn't niche down on an industry. And when I did that, it was like ridiculous growth.
And tell me then, I mean, you quit it on the spot, right? And then you went to start this. Number one, how do you got the idea to start an agency, basically? And then how was those first, let's put a number on it, 5 sales? You know, that's usually the first ones are the hardest ones, right? So how was that process for you?
So it was like super, I don't want to say complicated, it was like super a mess. Like it wasn't that I had just had the idea to start an agency. I had the idea since like 2015, but I didn't know how to sell, and I didn't believe in myself enough to be able to just like go out and do it. I didn't feel like I had enough like work under my belt. Like I was just starting to work in Upwork and stuff like that. When it came to like lead generation and stuff like that.
So you got your feet wet in Upwork.
Yeah. Way like before Nielsen and while I was at Nielsen and while I was selling cars.
That's cool.
But I didn't believe in myself enough to go out and actually pitch someone and convince them to give me money. And when I did try to do it, I kept getting like rejected. And I didn't understand sales enough to be like, rejection is good.
Yeah.
It's just a numbers game. You need to get in front of as many people as possible. Because most people will say no. You know?
Yeah.
Like a good closing ratio is 30%. That's like a lot of rejection.
Yeah.
So like I wasn't mentally there to understand how to work through that.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, definitely.
But I always knew that the agency game was what I wanted. Or well, not really what I wanted, but what I needed to be able to have a good income. You know, to build like a high paying income thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. When you're talking, I feel totally identified because I worked in a car dealerships also in Orlando. I sold Fiats and Alfa Romeos, and I got the same training. Grant Cardone, you know, I think he's the master in that area.
Yeah.
And I took the same training, and I was there 6, 7 months, something like that. But then I love that job because it was, as you're saying, it helped you overcome objections and just go at it. And I think that was also a weak point of mine. So tell me, okay, Laura, right now, what have you accomplished and what are your goals? What do you want to accomplish? Like right now, you've been in a few interviews. You're currently speaking, doing a little bit more public speaking. I think that you said in the previous interview that that's the way that you want to head up. So tell me about who you are now, what have you accomplished, and now where are you going, and what do you want to accomplish? Like, do you have your goals? Do you have like how? One of the things that, and let me a little bit elaborate on this, is that I have a friend that he asked me, like, I told him like, hey, I'm going to be meeting with you, and do you have any questions for her? And he was like, how do people reach goals? You know, he's currently in a job, and he literally just sent me a text message like, I asked him like, for real, like no joke. I told him like, hey, I'm going to be meeting with somebody, and he said like, "Hi, how's everything today?" And he said, "Honestly, like what happened? Bad luck, big bosses, owners." Sorry. There's a kid right here. Sorry. But you can see, and he's frustrated because he's in a position where he's trying to do his best. He's in a sales position, so he has his base plus commission. So I think we've been there. But how did you know, from the same position I think that he was, or place your goals and are placing your goals today?
So, when it comes to goals, I'm like a little weird. I don't know if people do what I do. I literally get a notebook and I literally take about like 30 minutes to like 45 minutes, maybe an hour, to literally write all my goals down. And at first I write them like each goal, and then I go to the next page and I write a full page of the same sentence over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So I do that like because I have to like put it in my brain. Like I have to reprogram my brain, and then I don't just write the goal. I write what I have to do to be able to reach that goal, like the little tiny steps to get there. Like get in front of 1,000 people. That's gonna lead to like maybe 100 emails, and out of those 100 emails, I'm gonna get 10 follow-ups, and out of those 10, I'll get 2 clients.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I really do goal setting when it comes to like business or sales. Right now, where I'm at in my life, I haven't hit $1 million. I've just been able to build like a 6-figure business, which is like cool, but I'm also realizing like money isn't everything. I'm doing like a lot of personal development, and what I'm learning is that like my childhood like really messed me up. So that's like really what I'm trying to overcome, and I just want to be cool with like my inner child and love my inner child so much that like nothing can stop me on this plane, the next plane, and every other plane that there is. So that's where I'm at, and I feel like entrepreneurs all need to know about their inner child and like self-care and self-love, and I want to be the one to unite the world's entrepreneurs and provide them with resources from like a local to global scale, which is actually why I partnered with this app called Startup Space, that's our mission. You know, I prayed to God, I prayed to the universe, and I asked them to, and myself, because like we are source, like we are the fucking shit. Like we're amazing, we can do anything we can set our mind to, right? We just have to believe it. So I prayed, and I'm like please bring to me whatever I need to be able to fulfill my destiny, to be able to like follow what I'm here for. And like I don't think I'm here to like make a shitload of money and brag about it. Like I'm here to connect people. I'm here to revolutionize this world in a positive way. And that's when I met the CEO and owner of Startup Space, like literally the next day after I prayed that.
Nice.
And I was like, this is what I need to be a part of. I need to help make this a huge thing. And so that's like one of the projects I'm pursuing. So like we're actually going to be in Lisbon in November for Web Summit.
Okay.
And we're going to be at CES in January or February, I forgot. I think it's January. So CES, you know CES? Consumer Electric Show. It's like the biggest show in the world. It's like where like LG, anything electronics wise is there, and that's like where they debut everything. So that's where I'm working on that. And yeah, I want to do like more public speaking and like high level consulting, really, like people that like dramatically just want to change the world. Like I just want to surround myself with like-minded people, because like in the past I've been surrounded with the wrong types of like-minded people because my mindset wasn't there. Like I love when people like you reach out to me, because I know you're on a path that I'm on too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know you're not selling drugs. I know you're not doing anything bad to harm like anybody. Like everything you're doing is a positive thing, and that's the people that I want to surround myself with.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Still recording. So I want to ask you.
Did I answer every question?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, just to refresh, the question was, where are you heading? So let's do this. So let's say somebody like my friend. What do you recommend for him to do in order to reach his goals?
So I mean, what's his goal? All I saw was like bad day, shitty business owner.
Yeah, that literally was the question. Like, dun dun dun, that was me, literally telling him, and then da 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 da. What are your
What are your goals?
Yeah, and then da 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 da. Yeah, about one question. What are your goals? Like, and how do you get there? So.
Bro, getting to any goal is setting the goal first, and then creating little tiny tasks, daily tasks that are gonna get you to that goal. That's it. It's that simple.
Breaking it down to,
like,
you're kind of reverse engineering it,
of
right?
course.
There's this, and then you
But they have to be so tiny pieces that you don't feel overwhelmed when you look at them and say, oh, I have to do this. Like, you don't want to feel overwhelmed because you're accomplishing your goal. And like, another thing I do is like something I learned from Tony Robbins, which is like, close your eyes, visualize your goal, and just like feel like the amazingness you're gonna feel when you hit that goal. Hold your heart and bring that shit to you.
Yeah, I remember that in ClickFunnels, right?
Yes, that's where I learned it. Bro, that changed my life.
Really?
Like,
wow.
Straight up. And another thing that changed my life was the whole like jumping and like screaming at the top of your lungs thing. Like, I don't know why, but like, it was awesome, and I do it. Like, anytime I catch myself in a low vibe, I just wake up. Aww. So cute. You're cute too. Oh, did she hurt me? I think so. That's good. Catch me on Instagram at Laura Egocheaga.
Google me.
Google me.
That's funny. But yeah, going back. So breaking it down to bite-sized pieces in order to focus, right?
And not get overwhelmed.
No,
because you get overwhelmed.
Definitely.
Like, especially if you have a huge goal. Which you shouldn't have a goal unless it's huge and it scares you. So
yeah, that's definitely. In terms of how do you get the? I know that in order to grow an audience, you have to speak, you have to talk, and you have to. And when it comes to that, there's a lot of vulnerability involved. Because you're opening and you're speaking your mind, you're speaking, your knowledge to other people. How do you get? I don't want to say the courage to actually go and like, hey guys, what's going on? Doing this, doing that, lives, but also to share and to do the public speaking. I think that my question it's based on dare and validation. I would say like. Makes sense, my question?
No.
No? Okay, so like for example, I heard in the previous interview that you were like, you were giving a presentation of Instagram, right? And then some kids were like, wait, you are doing this? And you were like, yeah. So how do you get?
They weren't even kids, they're like grown ass women. So like that's to me. So, I mean, how to explain. I feel like there's a bias, like, when people look at me, I guess. They're just like, what? I'm gonna learn from you? What could you have to possibly teach me when you're older? Like, when older people than me see me. Like, non-millennials is what I would call them. Like, and I feel like that's with anybody that's younger. Like, because society has taught us that the older you are, the more knowledge you have.
Yeah.
Not true. Like, that's so not true.
Yeah, you can be doing the same thing over and over wrongly for years.
Exactly. And there's like literally like 12-year-olds kids that have built amazing apps that became like $1 million apps. Like, I would want to learn from him than you that hasn't done anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care your age. It's about like, what have you been through to first give me your case studies, right? What have you done? Okay, yeah, I want to learn that from you. So every time I start like a presentation, I start with my backstory, and then I talk about what I've done for me to be qualified to even be teaching you anything.
Cool.
So that's like literally how I open any presentation.
That's cool. And how do you love it? Do you get it? I mean, maybe the question is because I think I'm in the same path, but it's sometimes scary, you know, to open yourself and start, you know, sharing your information. And I don't know if that was that a struggle at the beginning with you?
I think we stopped recording.
Sure. And this is why I have this. Because every 30 minutes it's usually stops.
Oh really?
Yeah. Recording. So it looked good. It checks your face very good. So again, the question was talking and sharing your information yourself openly. Was it a struggle for you at the beginning?
So I don't even know where the beginning really is. Like my first like real event was with Gary Vaynerchuk. Yeah. So like that was like a huge beginning.
That was this year.
That was this year in February.
Also, yeah.
Were you? Fuck yeah. And but yeah, so that was like my first ever, and I talked about my backstory, and that was like the hardest thing because I've never done that before. Yeah. And the only reason why I did it is because like I know Russell Brunson, and that's how Russell Brunson talks. Like he gives you a story to relate to lead into why you're teaching whatever, right? So I had to let them know. I made my first 20 grand online when I was 16. I know what I'm doing, and this is what I'm doing for my clients. Let's get into it. You know, so I know everything always has to start with a backstory to create that connection with the audience. And you need vulnerability. Like even if you're not comfortable sharing vulnerability, then like you shouldn't be public speaking. Like because you won't be able to make that connection with people. Like recently I had in August on my dad's birthday. Like I like broke down because in front of everybody on Instagram. Because like it was my dad's birthday and like he didn't invite me to his dinner. And at that same time I'm also going through personal development and going deep into my childhood, and like yeah, my mom left me, but really it was my dad that also left me too. Like mentally. Even though I lived with him. But like I still live in the same area as him. I like till this day I'm 15 minutes away from his house. Never seen him. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like it's I don't even know where I was going with that. But oh yeah, I was vulnerable on Instagram because I just felt like I couldn't keep it in anymore. Like I can't keep shit like that in anymore, and I just like told everybody. And I did Facebook Lives. I was so upset. And I didn't directly call my dad out, but like he saw it and people like hit him up like what the fuck is going on, you know? But I was really upset. And I got this whole new audience that connected with me that literally messaged me and it was like bro, like over 50 people messaged me like saying my parents are like that too, like don't feel bad, like you're doing amazing, like and they just talked me up and up and up, and I'm just like, this is so sweet, but like I wish my dad was saying this to me, not you. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, this has nothing to do with this.
No, it's actually is, because it's interesting. I don't know who said it or, but every business is at the end of the day we are all humans, you know, and a business grows or fails just because
of us,
you know, of humans. Yeah. And I love when I go to usually the business section of books, the bookstore, Barnes and Nobles. There's usually like how to overcome this, how to do public, how to overcome, and how to reach goals, and all of that. It's personal, you know. It
totally is.
It's not how to do marketing and gear strategies and numbers and math and blah blah blah. It's us. So if we work ourselves, and that's one of the things Tony Robbins does, is he works and then he develops and goes. You know, people go to another level, and businesses go to another level. So
yeah, like
awesome.
one thing my mentor always tells me, like businesses don't have marketing problems or nothing like that. They literally have personal problems. Like it's relationship building problems. And I'm at a point in my business where I need to build stronger relationships. So I knew that if I didn't go back into my head and fix whatever, I wasn't going to be able to build strong relationships because I wasn't taught to build strong relationships. I wasn't taught how to really love. I have to teach myself. You feel me? And I think a lot of people need to do that because, like, let's be real, it's 2018 and not all of us had the best childhood.
Yeah.
Like, I can't be the only one.
No, definitely.
You know? So,
I can relate.
Yeah, so like, it's about like genuinely caring for people and then people reciprocating that care, you know? And I don't know. I don't really know where I was going with that either.
Yeah, that's awesome, that's awesome.
But you're completely right, like, businesses do not have marketing problems. They have relationship building problems that lead back to whatever happened in their childhood. It's weird. Like, it's so weird.
That's cool.
But it's facts. It's facts.
So Laura, I don't want to keep this going forever. We've been like for 40 minutes here.
Oh, really?
We can be here for hours basically if we can pop some beers and everything.
Yeah, right?
Not here, not here.
Oh, I was just listening.
But do you want to say something to the camera to wrap this up?
Yeah, what I want to say is I love you guys. I want to thank you so much for watching this from the bottom of my heart because you literally took the time out of your day to just listen to us talk. So that's awesome, and you should go follow him on Instagram, and you should go follow me on Instagram.
Put the links right here.
Ooh, put the links. But yeah, and I'd really appreciate that, and I promise you I'll follow you back, especially if you DM me telling me that you started following me because you watched this video. I would really appreciate that.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace. I'm gonna do it.
That was dope.